Hi everyone, it's Ross again. Now, this is a little bit different from what I normally do. You can probably tell a little bit of excitement in my voice. When I unbox Star Wars Legion, normally it's the true side, it's the right side to pick, it's the Imperials. But this time I've gone for Rebels to unbox, and I love this model. It just reminds me of Hoth, it reminds me of The Empire Strikes Back. One of my favourite missions in Star Wars Battlefront, wrapping the tow cable around the walkers. I just think these are quite iconic. Very 1977. Well, actually, it wasn't 77, the second one. Hey ho. Very 1970s, early 80s. It's that kind of era. Brings me back to my childhood. Anyway, enough waffle. We'll get straight to the unboxing. He's a little bit excited, people. It is the Star Wars Legion. He's coughing already. T47 Airspeeder. Brilliant artwork from the word go. As per always on these Fantasy Flight boxes. And this is the back of the box. Okay, so good old quote from Luke Skywalker there. Rogue group, use your harpoons and tow cables. Wicked. So there's a little height comparison, bit of scale there. I'll bring it a bit closer. Good lot of contents in the box. Fast, agile, and well armoured. Okay, let's get to it, kids. Nearly got me, didn't you? I'm going to tip it upside down and drop everything. Right, okay, so straight out of the box, I'm actually quite surprised how much of this is one piece. That's pretty impressive. Now, I have been told before there is a few Airfix kits out there that people may be using purely because the cockpit is see-through. And that would be pretty cool. It is a shame that it is all solid, all one piece. Now, this is House of Chaos John's very own, so I will be drilling holes in it and carving out the cockpit and modifying it and putting a miniature in place. It's not mine to do so, but I did offer to unbox it. So, flight base, and like most of the vehicles, I'm going to make sure it is facing one of these two directions when assembling the flight stand. If you play Star Wars Legion, or would like to play Star Wars Legion, it's basically where the movement stick goes. So if it's facing forward, it wouldn't be much good putting the movement stick there. So it's got to be so you can move it. Okay, the little contents sheet. Try to get it out of the sheen if I can. Right, here we go. So not a lot of assembly. So weapon options: the ground buzzer or the power harpoon. I want to use the power harpoon already. I haven't even read the card for it yet. I think it's iconic. It looks wicked. So you put the little guns in the front, the flaps, like you see in the film, when the flaps move and it tilts the ship. So on the component list, if you can see that, you have the base peg miniature, token, 4 wounds tokens, the vehicle damage tokens, aim token, dodge tokens, airspeeder card, 5 upgrade cards as well. So power harpoon, ground buzzer, wedge antennas, a long range comlink, and a comms jammer. So, okay, and it gives you a little rundown of the rules, like the tow cable rules. After a vehicle is wounded by an attack that includes a weapon with a tow cable keyword, the player who performed the attack performs a pivot with a vehicle that was wounded. Okay, it's not bad. Immune to melee attacks, immune to blast effects, so like flamers, things like that. Okay, fixed rear attack. Okay, to attack a unit using the weapon that is fixed rear keyword, defender must be inside the rear firing arc of the vehicle. That makes sense. So if that's the front, that's quite clearly the back. Okay, put that to one side. So we have all the little bits in the bag, which I will not take out at the moment because I will lose them else. So there we go, little blasters, tow cables, things like that. We have things stuck in a box and we can't get them out. Sorry guys, got a bit of a cold at the moment. We have got the tokens that you can press out. So from the aim to the defense, the wounds, the main token itself for activations, and we have the main cards itself. So since this model was released, being quite well informed by House of Chaos Carl, that's scruffy looking Nerf Raiders Carl, there's a bit of a plug for you. The points have changed. So, you know, I haven't been into Legion that long compared to these guys. And it's their fault I'm in it anyway. So, that's why I broke. So, it's gone from 175 points, which is quite expensive, to 140 points. That's quite a drop. That is quite a drop. So, this is the card. It's immune to blast and melee, like we just said a second ago. It's got cover because it's a vehicle that is a repulsor, I guess. That's why it has cover 1. And Arsenal 2. While attacking, each mini in this unit can use up to 2 of its weapons. So this unit, there's only 1 in the unit. It has 7 health and 5 armor. Okay. Speeder 2, while moving, ignore terrain. That is height 2 or lower. So better than the speeder bikes. And you know how much I love my speeder bikes. When you activate, perform a compulsory move. So, okay, so it is speed 3. So, good. I suppose you can't stop it because it would just fall on the floor. It must move the 3 before it does anything else. So that is in the basic rules in the rulebook for repulsor vehicles. So it has the double laser cannon, which is pretty nice. So it's range 1 to 3, 3 reds, 3 blacks. But it's fixed front and it's impact 3. Yeah, it's pretty nice. Okay, so and you can surge on your defense dice as well, which is probably just as well for its white dice for defense. Okay, so fixed arc, impact 3, which I just briefly mentioned. While attacking a unit that has armor, change up to 3 hit results to crit results. So it is good at trying to take out your big armored units. So, I don't know, if someone wanted to play an Imperial Walker, which I really must get hold of. That's my next pick. Then, yeah, this thing would be pretty nasty against it. You see, when I first picked up the Imperials, I was so sure to play the Imperials. I didn't want to play the Rebels. Things like that, and the Tauntons come out, really do change my mind. They really do. Right, okay, so this is what it's all about for me. It's just cool. Just reminds me of the film. So it's an 8-point card, now changed to 3 points. And that is another big drop. Okay, so it's only on this Airspeeder anyway. So this card, you know, Can't be used in any other vehicles. And it's the tow cable. So this is the one we're talking about. It does do damage. I know I mentioned previously on that black sheet that you can perform a free pivot with that vehicle. Brilliant. But what it didn't say it was, it's range 1 to 2, and it's still 1 red damage. So remember, that only works on a vehicle. And vehicles, as it mentions on its previous card, can turn those hits into crits anyway. So that's still good. That's still good. Even though it's only 1 red dice, it's not bad. Range 1 to 2 is in the rear arc. Probably wouldn't rely on it, but that's pretty nice. But remember, because it's got Arsenal 2, you can fire your front firing weapons, and if there is a vehicle in the back, take a plug at it with this. Well, there you go. That's pretty cool. It just reminds me of the film, you know. But then we have the ground buzzer. Okay, so this was 20 points, which is huge. 20 points, I think, in Legion is a big deal. It is now, drum roll please, a whole 10 points. See, that's a hell of a drop. Now, I would probably go with this rather than the free pivot action with the tow cable. But tow cable just looks cool, you know, and it's a lot cheaper. What did I say it was? I said it was 3 points, and this is 10 points, but 4 black dice, and it doesn't have to be targeting a vehicle. But once again, it is in the rear arc. So I would probably go for this rather than the free pivot. Free pivot's pretty handy though. It is pretty handy. Right, okay, so the other cards. Oh wow, I'll edit that out. Okay, the other cards, we have the long range comlink, which I have mentioned in the other unboxings before when I've done them. So during the command phase, you may be issued orders if you're outside the normative range of the commander. I find this quite useful because I will fly outside of the range. Because I can't think ahead. Like my speeder bikes, obviously got to do the 3 movement before they do anything. If you really wanted to, and you did the free movement, and then decide to shoot something, you're going to be well out of range most times. So that's right. I want a commander on a speed bike. That would be cool. So comms jammer. I don't know if I mentioned this previously. So comms jammer. Enemy units at range 1 cannot be issued orders unless they are issuing an order to themselves. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. And then we have a character here. Okay, so this is Wedgentines. Bit of a legend. Rebel only. Repulsor vehicle only. Until the end of your activation, you can gain full pivot. When you pivot, you can pivot up to 360 degrees. That's crazy. That's like a handbrake turn. That guy can go anywhere. But it is an exhaustible card. So once used, you will have to activate it again to unexhaust it. 5 points, but if you're stuck in a pickle, this guy's great. So you could bomb up the board, and if you think you're going to get out of range from your commander, just turn around again. So if you use this right, you can ping backwards and forwards up the table, which is great. Now remember, if you go off the table, you do lose the model. So yeah, he's cool. And you know, very Star Wars, Wedgentines. It's going to be wicked. I don't know if there's going to be any X-Wings on the table, but surely, you know, you've got to have this guy in an X-Wing as well, because that'd be pretty cool. But then again, I suppose X-Wings go really fast, so I'm not sure they'll be in Legion. We'll just have to wait and see. Right, I will stick this thing together, and I will show you the final piece. Okay, bear with me, guys. Okay, so that is the assembled piece. Now, like I said, I'm assembling for House of Chaos John. So he specifically asked for the buzzer, not the tow cable, so more DACA at the back. And he wanted the speeder flaps down. So you got the option of having them up or down. So I will show you the inside there, the detail. And if you want the flaps up, there's a mechanical section you place in, and glue, which allows the flap in question to be raised. So obviously raises one, banks the ship, raises the other, banks the other ship the other way. Because it's real, you know, that's how it works. And there was hardly any mold lines. It was a real joy to put together. And since assembling this, I'm now going to buy a load of Rebels. Yeah. It's pretty awesome. I love it. The only thing is, the cockpit, like I said, I've got to paint it as glass. I understand why it's not see-through, and then you've got a guy inside, because it probably costs more, there's more parts, so they would make the main base hollow, and then you stick a guy inside after you paint it, then stick a cockpit on it. So I understand why they did it, but there it is. I think it is an amazing model. I will glue the hatch closed on the other side for John. But a few little pointers. Now I know we've gone through the cards that was already in the box, but there are two cards that would be quite useful. So this vehicle already has cover. So being quite a fast speeder, like the Imperial bikes, it has cover 1. Brilliant. That's great, right? Unless you're going against snipers who ignore cover, but we will go into that. But there is another card for 10 points called the Outer Rim Speeder Jockey. Now, it's great for two reasons. One, because there's a picture of Chewie on it, which is great. And the other reason is, it's a Rebel only. This is Rebel. Repulsor vehicle only. This is a repulsor vehicle. You gain a cover 1 while defending against a ranged attack. Improve your cover by 1. We've already got cover 1, so presumably, in my limited Legion opinion, you now have cover 2. I think that's good. If I'm reading that right, I think it's pretty good. And the other one is another named character. Excuse me. Now I'm probably going to ham this name up, but it's Ryder Azadi. Azadi? Ryder Azadi. Rebel only. Repulsor vehicle only. Check, check. While performing a move, increase or decrease your maximum speed by 1. So it's 5 points, which is nothing really, but it is exhaustible. So when you use it, you can decrease your maximum speed by 1 or increase your maximum speed by 1. So get to where you really need to get to, or if you're trying to wipe out some forces that are close by and you want to slow right down, that's brilliant. So it makes this ship a lot more tactical rather than hoping for the best. So pretty good against infantry as a summary, definitely good against armor, and a lovely, lovely model. Even if you don't play Legion, this is a great model. It's relatively inexpensive and it looks real fun to paint. I haven't used a mold line scraper on it at all. It looks fantastic. It was a joy to put together, and it's a really nice looking model. Plus, the rules are excellent as well, which doesn't go amiss. Right, thank you very much for watching, guys. Please leave any comments below. Like the video, and subscribe if you haven't done already. On further Legion news, please check out the scruffy looking Nerf Herders podcast, and I'll put up a link to that in a second. Thank you for watching. Take care, guys. See you next time.